Chosen one. There comes a moment in every chosen one's life when the fog begins to lift. For a long time, things may have felt confusing. Certain people were close to you, yet something never quite felt right. Some supported you with words, but their actions carried a different message. Others disappeared the moment your life began to shift. And now, suddenly, things are becoming clear. If you are watching this, it is not random. You are entering a season where God is revealing who is real and who is fake around you. What once felt hidden is starting to surface. Masks are slipping. Motives are being exposed. And the people you once trusted, without question, are beginning to show you their true hearts. This is one of the most uncomfortable yet powerful seasons a chosen one can walk through. Because the truth is, when God begins elevating someone who is chosen, He also begins cleansing their environment. He removes confusion. He removes hidden agendas. And most importantly, He removes people who were never meant to walk into the next chapter of your life. You may have already noticed the signs. Conversations feel different. Energy feels different. Some people who used to be around you constantly have gone silent. Others suddenly seem irritated by your growth, your peace, or your focus. Do not ignore what you are sensing. Chosen ones often have a deep spiritual awareness. You can feel shifts before others notice them, but many times, because of your good heart, you give people the benefit of the doubt far longer than you should. Yet God is now making things undeniable. What used to be subtle is becoming obvious. What used to be confusing is becoming crystal clear. And what used to be hidden behind smiles and friendly words is now revealing its true nature. But here is what you must understand. This is not happening to hurt you. This is happening to protect you. God knows where He is taking you next. He knows the doors that are about to open in your life. And He also knows that not everyone around you is prepared to celebrate what He is about to do for you. Some people were assigned to walk with you for a season. Others were simply observers in your story. And a few, if we are being honest, were quietly hoping you would never rise into the purpose God placed on your life. That is why the separation is happening now. Before we go deeper, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. If this message resonates with your spirit, it helps this message reach other chosen ones who may be going through the exact same season of revelation. And if this message is already speaking directly to your situation, consider supporting the channel with super thanks. Your support helps keep these messages coming and allows this community of chosen ones to grow stronger together. Now here is the powerful part. The revealing of real and fake people is not just about others. It is also about strengthening you. God is sharpening your discernment. Discernment is one of the greatest spiritual gifts a chosen one can develop. It allows you to sense intentions beyond words. It protects you from manipulation, and it ensures that the people who enter your inner circle are aligned with the destiny God has placed on your life. The Bible reminds us of this truth clearly. In Luke 8:17 it says, "For nothing is hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be known or brought out into the open." In other words, what is happening in your life right now was always going to happen. Truth has a way of rising to the surface, and when you are chosen, God does not allow deception to stay around you forever. He exposes it at the exact moment you are ready to see it. So if you have recently felt distance from certain people, if some relationships suddenly feel uncomfortable, if you are starting to notice behaviors you once overlooked, do not panic. You are not losing people randomly. God is revealing them, and what you're witnessing right now is only the beginning of a deeper spiritual shift that every chosen one must eventually face. Because once God begins revealing who is real and who is fake, everything in your life starts to change. One of the hardest questions chosen ones ask during this season of revelation is this: why did God allow certain people to stay around me for so long if they were never real in the first place? It is a fair question, because when the truth finally surfaces, it can feel painful. You begin looking back at memories, conversations, and moments where you now see things differently. What once looked like support now looks like quiet competition. What once sounded like encouragement now sounds like hidden doubt. But here is the spiritual truth many chosen ones eventually realize. God does not reveal everything at the beginning, because the beginning is not where you are strong enough to handle it. There are seasons in life where you are still growing, still learning, and still developing the spiritual strength needed for your purpose. During those seasons, God allows certain people to remain in your life because they are part of your preparation. Not everyone in your life is there to help you grow in comfort. Some are there to sharpen your discernment. Some are there to strengthen your emotional resilience. And some unknowingly play a role in pushing you closer to God. The Bible reveals this pattern many times. Think about Joseph. Before he became a powerful leader in Egypt, he experienced betrayal from the very people who were supposed to protect him. His own brothers sold him into slavery out of jealousy and resentment, yet what they intended for harm, God used for preparation. Joseph could not step into his destiny without first understanding human motives. Betrayal and resilience, the same pattern often appears in the life of a chosen one. God allows certain people to stay close long enough for you to learn what you need to learn. Sometimes those people reveal what manipulation looks like. Sometimes they show you how envy operates quietly behind smiles. And sometimes they expose how people can celebrate you publicly, but secretly resent your growth. These lessons are not meant to make you bitter. They are meant to make you wiser. A chosen one cannot walk into their higher calling with a naive heart. Your purpose requires discernment. It requires emotional strength, and it requires the ability to recognize who truly supports the path God has placed before you. Without these lessons, many chosen ones would unknowingly carry the wrong people into their next chapter, and that could be dangerous. Because where God is taking you, the environment must be different. The people around you must be aligned with truth, loyalty, and spiritual maturity. If God removed every fake person too early, you might repeat the same patterns again later. Instead, he allows the situation to reveal itself naturally. Eventually something shifts. The hidden tension becomes obvious. The small signs you ignored begin to multiply. Words and actions stop matching. And slowly, your spirit starts recognizing what your heart once refused to accept. That is when the season of revelation begins. You start noticing who disappears when you are growing. You notice who becomes uncomfortable with your peace. You notice who subtly undermines your confidence instead of strengthening it. At first, this realization can feel lonely, but in reality, it is one of the greatest acts of protection God can give a chosen one, because the sooner the truth is revealed, the sooner your path becomes clear. You stop forcing connections that were never genuine. You stop explaining your vision to people who secretly doubt it. And most importantly, you stop shrinking yourself to maintain relationships that were built on false foundations. The moment God reveals the fake, he is making space for the real. And what many chosen ones do not realize is that this process is preparing them for a level of spiritual clarity they have never experienced before. Because once you truly see people for who they are, you begin to understand something even deeper about your calling. One truth many chosen ones eventually discover is this: not everyone around you is comfortable with the calling on your life. In the beginning, people may celebrate you. They clap when you achieve something small. They encourage you when your dreams seem distant or unrealistic. At that stage, your potential does not threaten anyone yet. But something changes when your growth becomes real, when your mindset shifts, when your peace becomes noticeable, when your focus sharpens and your life begins moving in a direction that others did not expect. That is when hidden feelings begin to surface. For many chosen ones, the hardest revelation is realizing that jealousy can sometimes come from the people closest to you. Not strangers, not distant critics, but people who once stood right beside you. This pattern is not new. It has appeared throughout biblical history. Think about the story of Joseph again. When Joseph shared the dreams God placed in his heart, his brothers did not respond with excitement or support. Instead, the Bible tells us they became jealous. The very people who grew up with him could not handle the idea that God had a unique plan for his life. Their jealousy did not begin the moment Joseph was elevated. It began the moment they realized he was different. Chosen ones often carry something others cannot fully explain. There is a sense of purpose around you. Even before you fully understand your calling, people can feel that your life is meant for something significant. And while some people will admire that, others will quietly resent it. Jealousy rarely shows itself openly at first. It hides behind subtle behaviors. Someone may begin questioning your decisions more often than before. They may downplay your achievements or change the subject whenever something positive happens in your life. Sometimes they offer advice that seems helpful on the surface but quietly steers you away from your purpose. Other times their energy simply shifts. They become distant. They grow uncomfortable when you speak about your growth. They stop celebrating the progress they once encouraged. For a chosen one, these changes can be confusing because your heart naturally wants to believe the best about people. You want to assume their intentions are good. But when God begins revealing who is real and who is fake, he often exposes jealousy that was hidden for years. And here is the important part. Jealousy is rarely about something you did wrong. It is usually about what your life represents. Your discipline may remind someone of the effort they are avoiding. Your faith may highlight doubts they are struggling with. Your courage to pursue purpose may expose their fear of stepping outside their comfort zone. In other words, your growth becomes a mirror. And not everyone is ready to face what that mirror reflects. But God does not reveal these things to make you angry or defensive. He reveals them so you can adjust your boundaries. Chosen ones must learn that love and distance can exist at the same time. You can wish someone well while also recognizing they cannot walk beside you in the next chapter of your life. Discernment does not mean you stop caring about people. It simply means you stop ignoring the truth. When God reveals jealousy or hidden motives, he is protecting the vision he placed inside you. Because the path ahead requires people who genuinely celebrate your growth, not people who secretly hope you slow down. And the more clearly you see this difference, the easier it becomes to move forward without confusion. But something even more powerful begins happening when this clarity arrives. Because once the fake begins to fall away, God starts positioning the real people who were meant to be part of your journey. And that shift is where the chosen one's life truly begins to transform. When God begins revealing who is real and who is fake, the next phase often surprises many chosen ones. It is not just awareness, it is separation. And separation is rarely comfortable. At first, you may try to hold on to certain relationships. You may hope things will return to the way they used to be. You may tell yourself that maybe you are overthinking things, or that the distance you feel is only temporary. But deep inside, your spirit already knows something has changed. Conversations no longer flow the same way. Trust does not feel as natural as it once did. The connection that once felt effortless now feels forced. This is not your imagination. When God begins shifting your life toward your true purpose, he also begins adjusting your environment. Certain relationships that once seemed permanent start fading naturally. Not through dramatic arguments or explosive endings, but through quiet distance. Phone calls become less frequent. Invitations stop coming. Some people who were once always present suddenly disappear without explanation. For a chosen one, this stage can feel lonely, because the truth is, many of the people leaving your life were once part of your everyday world. They were part of your routines, your conversations, your memories. Letting go of those connections can feel like losing pieces of your past. But here is the deeper spiritual reality. Not every relationship is meant to last forever. Some people were meant to walk with you during your preparation stage. They were part of the lessons that shaped your character, strengthened your faith, and helped you grow into the person you are becoming. But they were never meant to walk with you into your next assignment. The Bible shows us this pattern repeatedly. Even Jesus experienced separation in his journey. Many people followed him when his teachings were inspiring and uplifting. But when the path became difficult and the truth became challenging, many quietly walked away. In John 6:66, it says that many of his disciples turned back and no longer followed him. This moment reveals something important about the journey of a chosen one. Not everyone who begins the journey with you will finish it with you. And that is not a failure. It is part of the design, because where God is taking you requires alignment. It requires people whose hearts are rooted in truth, loyalty, and spiritual maturity. Carrying the wrong people into your next season can delay the purpose God has prepared for you. That is why separation happens before elevation. God clears the environment before he opens the bigger doors. And while this process can feel painful, it is actually one of the greatest acts of protection in your life. Imagine stepping into your greatest opportunities while still surrounded by people who secretly doubt you, compete with you, or resent your growth. That environment would slowly drain your energy and distract you from the mission God placed before you. Instead, God allows the distance to happen now. And sometimes the separation is quiet and peaceful. There is no argument, no dramatic confrontation. People simply drift away because their role in your life has been completed. This kind of separation often hurts the most because there is no clear ending, just a gradual realization that the chapter has closed. But here is something chosen ones eventually understand. When God removes someone from your life, He is not creating emptiness. He is creating space. Space for healthier connections, space for clarity, space for people who are genuinely aligned with the future He is preparing for you. And while you may not see those people yet, the process has already begun, because once the fake relationships fade away, God begins bringing something far more powerful into your life. The connections that were meant for your destiny. As God begins revealing who is real and who is fake, something powerful is also developing inside you. At first it may feel like discomfort, like you are suddenly noticing things that never bothered you before. You pick up on tones in people's voices. You sense tension behind certain smiles. You recognize intentions that once went unnoticed. What you are experiencing is not negativity, it is discernment. Discernment is one of the most important spiritual gifts a chosen one can receive. It is the quiet ability to sense truth beyond what is visible on the surface. It allows you to recognize motives that words try to hide. It gives you clarity in situations where others may remain confused. Many chosen ones spend years ignoring this gift. You may have felt something was wrong about certain people long before anything obvious happened. Your spirit may have warned you through small feelings of discomfort or unease. But because your heart naturally wants to trust others, you often pushed those signals aside. You told yourself you were being too sensitive. You convinced yourself you were overthinking things. You gave people the benefit of the doubt again and again. But now God is sharpening that awareness. He is teaching you to listen to the quiet signals your spirit receives. Because where you are going next in life requires strong discernment. Chosen ones often carry responsibilities that influence others. Your words may guide people. Your actions may inspire people. The decisions you make may affect not only your life but also the lives of those connected to you. Because of this, God strengthens your ability to recognize truth. The Bible speaks about this clearly in 1 Corinthians 12:10, where spiritual discernment is described as the ability to distinguish between spirits. In simple terms, it is the ability to sense what is genuine and what is not. This gift protects you. It protects your peace. It protects your purpose, and it protects the vision God has placed inside your life. Without discernment, a chosen one could easily allow the wrong voices to influence their direction. Someone's doubt could weaken your confidence. Someone's jealousy could create unnecessary distractions. Someone's hidden agenda could steer you away from the path God designed for you. But with discernment, those influences lose their power. You begin recognizing patterns quickly. You notice when someone's actions do not match their words. You sense when someone's presence drains your energy rather than strengthens it. And most importantly, you begin trusting what your spirit tells you. This does not mean you become cold or suspicious of everyone around you. True discernment does not create fear. Instead, it creates clarity. You learn to observe quietly. You do not rush to judge people or confront every situation. Instead, you allow time to reveal character. You watch how people behave when you succeed. You notice who celebrates your progress and who becomes uncomfortable with it. Over time, the difference between real and fake becomes obvious, and something interesting begins to happen once your discernment grows stronger. You stop chasing validation from people who cannot understand your purpose. You stop explaining your vision to people who secretly doubt it, and you stop allowing others to shape how you see yourself. Instead, your confidence begins coming from a deeper place. You recognize that God has been guiding your journey all along. The lessons you experienced, the betrayals you endured, and the revelations you are now seeing were all part of shaping your spiritual awareness. This awareness becomes one of your greatest strengths, because when a chosen one learns to trust their discernment, they move through life with a level of wisdom that cannot easily be manipulated. And once this wisdom is fully awakened, something else begins happening. God starts aligning you with the people who were truly meant to walk beside you. But the way He brings those people into your life is something most chosen ones never expect. Once God begins revealing who is real and who is fake, many chosen ones focus only on what they are losing. They notice the friendships fading, the relationships growing distant, and the people who once filled their daily life slowly disappearing. But what many do not realize is that this is only one side of the transformation. While certain people are leaving, something equally powerful is happening behind the scenes. God is quietly aligning the right people for your next season. This is one of the most beautiful yet unexpected parts of the chosen one's journey. The reason God removes certain individuals from your life is not simply to create distance. It is to make room for connections that are aligned with your purpose. The people who are meant to walk with you in your next chapter cannot fully enter your life while the wrong influences still occupy your space. Think about it this way. If your life is a house, God is clearing out the rooms that were filled with the wrong guests. Some of those guests stayed longer than they should have. Some created tension in the environment. Others quietly drained your energy without you realizing it. Before new guests can enter, the house must be cleared. That is exactly what God is doing. He is creating an environment where the right connections can grow naturally. The people God brings into a chosen one's life often feel different from the relationships of the past. There is a sense of peace when you interact with them. Conversations feel genuine. Support feels natural rather than forced. You no longer feel like you have to prove your worth or constantly explain your vision. These people simply understand. Sometimes they share a similar mindset. Sometimes they carry a similar spiritual awareness. And sometimes they are simply people whose hearts are aligned with truth and sincerity. The Bible reminds us of the power of these kinds of relationships. In Proverbs 27:17 it says, "As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another." In other words, the right people in your life will strengthen you, not weaken you. They will encourage your growth rather than feel threatened by it. They will challenge you to become better while also supporting the purpose God has placed in your life. These are the relationships that help chosen ones thrive. But here is the interesting part. God rarely introduces these people during seasons of chaos or confusion. He brings them when your discernment has matured and your spirit is ready to recognize them. These are the relationships that help chosen ones thrive. But here is the interesting part. God rarely introduces these people during seasons of chaos or confusion. He brings them when your discernment has matured and your spirit is ready to recognize them. If the right people had entered your life earlier, you might not have appreciated them. You might have overlooked them or allowed the wrong voices to influence how you viewed them. Now things are different. You have learned through experience. You have seen what fake loyalty looks like. You have recognized the difference between words and genuine actions. Because of these lessons, you now have the wisdom to value the right connections when they appear, and they will appear. Sometimes they arrive through unexpected conversations, sometimes through new opportunities, sometimes through people who come into your life quietly but quickly prove their sincerity through their actions. Unlike the relationships that were built on convenience or surface-level connection, these new relationships are built on alignment. Alignment in values, alignment in vision, alignment in spiritual understanding. These connections may be fewer in number, but they will be far stronger in impact. Chosen ones often discover that they do not need a large crowd around them. What they truly need is a small circle of genuine people who respect their calling and support their journey. And once those people are in place, something incredible begins to happen. Your path becomes clearer than ever before. Because when the right people stand beside a chosen one, the purpose God placed on their life begins, unfolding with a level of strength and clarity that could never happen before. And that realization leads to the final truth every chosen one must understand about this season of revelation. Now that God has begun revealing who is real and who is fake in your life and aligning the right people for your journey, it's time to embrace what is happening fully. Many chosen ones resist this season at first. They mourn the loss of relationships. They question why certain people drift away. And they wrestle with feelings of loneliness or betrayal. But here is the spiritual truth you must understand. This season is not a punishment. It is a preparation. God is using this period to purify your environment so that nothing, no false influence, no hidden agenda, no disguised jealousy can hinder the destiny He has placed inside of you. Every separation, every revelation, And every quiet test of your heart is part of a divine strategy to elevate you. The Bible gives us insight into this process. In Isaiah 41:10, God says, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." This passage reminds us that even when relationships fall away and clarity comes through uncomfortable realizations, God is actively working to strengthen and uphold you. Embracing this season begins with trust. Trust that what is happening is intentional. Trust that the people leaving were never meant to walk with you in your next level. Trust that the right people will enter your life at the right time, bringing wisdom, encouragement, and alignment. And most importantly, trust that your purpose is unfolding exactly as God planned. Another key part of embracing this season is gratitude. It may seem counterintuitive to feel grateful when relationships dissolve or when people reveal themselves as fake. But gratitude is a spiritual tool that shifts your energy. Thank God for the lessons learned. Thank Him for the discernment you are developing. Thank Him for the space that is now opening up in your life for genuine connections. Gratitude not only honors the divine process but also aligns your spirit to receive the next level of blessings. This is also the moment to deepen your personal reflection and prayer. Take time to evaluate your own heart. Ask God to remove anything within you that could block the clarity, wisdom, or spiritual insight He is giving. When a chosen one walks through revelation with humility and awareness, every lesson becomes a tool for elevation. Finally, embrace the freedom that comes with clarity. No longer will you be distracted by hidden motives or subtle negativity. You will move forward with confidence, understanding that your inner circle, your energy, and your life direction are now aligned with divine truth. Chosen one, this season is a call to rise higher. It is a call to walk in discernment, to release what no longer serves your purpose, and to fully receive the people, opportunities, and blessings God is preparing for you. The moment you embrace this revelation is the moment your life begins to accelerate spiritually, emotionally, and purposefully. Remember, God is not just revealing people's hearts. He is revealing yours too. He is refining your vision, sharpening your discernment, and elevating you into the next level of your destiny. Stand firm, trust fully, and rise higher. For this season is the gateway to everything He has promised you. If you are ready, take a deep breath and step into your purpose, knowing that what God has revealed is only the beginning of your chosen journey.